Okay, so this is the paradox, and so far everything is good.
So going from that initial state to the final state must leave you with a pure state at the end. So how in the world do you get that pure state at the end? And i.e., how do you resolve the paradox? And that's sort of where all of the work gets done, and people have various and sundry theories and so forth of it. On the other hand, people like me, which sometimes seems a very small number these days, say, look, inside the black hole, you've got this, in our current understanding, you've got the singularity. Stuff falls off the edge of the universe. You can't see inside the black hole, so you can't see any of that stuff inside. And we know in quantum mechanics, if you ignore part of the world, then you get a mixed state.
Just by ignoring the other part.
Right.
Such that if you bring it into account, then it's a pure state again. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Well, I don't know what happens to that stuff eventually. I mean, it might fall off the edge of the universe. There, might be something happening on the inside, etc. And I mean, technically also, the stuff inside is space-like separated from everything outside. So there's no paradox.
Until the evaporation.
Pardon?
Until the evaporation.
No, but even the evaporation, even after the evaporation has gone on, there's still no paradox, because that stuff inside, in the past, is still space-like separated from what's outside.
But
So-
now in that the case, on that the that's the your claim in that the inside the event horizon that we don't care. That from the outside of that.
Right.
That's
No,
the
but-
external. That's the infinitesimal. That's the
I'm sorry, Bill.
But you in this room have no trouble accepting that if photons leave out from here,
yeah.
they carry entanglement with stuff in here,
Right.
so the entropy in this room rises.
No, Bill. I have to ask you again.
Is that a problem?
Here is
No.
here is the problem. I have a closed lab. There is a lab,
Yeah.
and it's closed. So this
Yeah.
is my whole universe. There is enough matter and energy there for a black hole to form.
Okay.
Now it evaporates. So all your thermal radiation is within my lab. How can you retrieve a pure state? All the matter that you need is within this closed lab.
No, but it isn't anymore, because when
You don't have an event horizon anymore.
When the black, I know, you don't have any event horizon anymore.
Yeah.
So the energy is in the lab, which is fine, but energy doesn't say anything about entropy.
And
And you had a place, in which the entropy could go.
But I don't have it anymore.
You don't have it anymore, that's fine. This is a really good garbage disposal unit,
right.
because it preserves the energy for you, but it doesn't preserve the entropy.
So here it is. I threw to the black hole my printer, some of my clothes, and now there was a lot of information there. Now all I have is thermal radiation.
Right.
So information has been lost.
Yeah, into the black hole.
But there is no black hole anymore.
So what?
Yeah.
Why does there have to be a? Remember, general relativity is not flat space-time.
Ah, you are saying that it's still there in the
Black
past.
holes are part of general relativity. They're
So
not
it's-
part of flat space-time.
So you say
the-
that the past still exists. The past is still there, just like the elsewhere.
There's what?
The past of the lab
Right.
is still there somehow in the 4 dimensions, and this is where your information is still is.
Right. Well, or it fell. I mean, if you take classical general relativity, then there was in fact this final singularity over which things just, vanished.
Okay.
Okay. They went into a singularity, but the singularity also vanished when the black hole evaporated. I mean, who knows? Or some people say maybe there's a wormhole and it's off in a different universe, right? Well, that other, it's all there, but it's absolutely and totally and completely separate from us. It cannot access it in any way whatsoever. It's just sitting there, and I'm here, and there's no way I can get from here to there. So there's no way I can see the stuff that's sitting inside that baby universe.
Right.
That's a possible model.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So going
the
from a
consistency.
pure state to a mixed state is only because you divide the universe. You divide reality into parts, and you don't see the whole of reality.
Right. Right.
And in your case, it's not only the elsewhere. Hi Ali, Boker Tov Yatzlan. I said, good morning, you lazy guy.
Yes. I heard that.
So for you, the elsewhere is also the past. It still exists
Yes.
there, objectively. And don't worry, if you look at the entire history, not only at the present, then you don't have an information paradox.
Right.
Very nice.
But general relativity has problems with concepts like, I shouldn't say it has problems, we have problems with understanding its concepts of, present and so forth. I mean, in special relativity, we've gotten used to the fact that the past, I can set my slice here, or I can have my time slice doing this.
You believe in the
And
block
in
universe.
this one, this is in our future, and in this one, this is in our past, and we've gotten used to this in the last 100 years.
You like
But
the
almost nobody's gotten used to general relativity.
so you like the block universe view. You like the
Pardon?
block universe view. You don't believe that time is passing, that there is a passage of time. You say that we live.
I just know general relativity. Okay, this is my theory of what the world is like.
Oh yes.
Okay, I don't, how I interpreted it is, of course, up to me or you or whoever, and I can well accept that various people will interpret the same thing very differently. But when I look at this structure that we have here, then I know that this stuff here is space-like separated. In other words, there are no time-like curves which allow one to go from there to me out here. There's a small issue in here which I'll get back to. All of the energy has come out, so it's not that I've lost energy anywhere.
Yeah. The energy and the matter. Energy and matter.
Energy, angular momentum, all of those, globally conserved things, they've all come out, and they're all the same as they were before. But the entropy isn't. But that's not surprising, because there's, I've got a part of the space which I'm not looking at. Now, you could ask what happens in there. I mean, and maybe universe is one thing that people have played with. But the theory itself, as far as we know, we don't have a good theory of quantum gravity. There's a future singularity in there, and everything just fell into that future singularity. And Singularities you can't do anything with. You can't inquire, you can't do experiments with them or anything like that. So it's just gone. Now, in the case of the black hole, there's the question of once the black hole does its final evaporation, what's the space-time like, just at that point? Because just at that point, you could imagine that there's a way for a time-like curve to go through that point and come out and link with us so that we're in the future via that last point of the evaporation of the black hole. Clearly, that's going to be some sort of quantum event, and the only thing that will ever answer that question is quantum mechanics and, unifying quantum mechanics and gravity, whatever that means. But it's highly unlikely that that one point is going to sort of destroy everything. That there's any way in which one could imagine all of the information that's gone in there somehow becomes accessible to us through this one single point. Whether it's quantum or whatever, or that single, the mass of the black hole is shrunk down to a Planck mass, and so forth. How in the world could all this information suddenly come out at that time? So they're the people, most people haven't thought about it, but they follow trends and tracks and their gurus who tell them that this is the way out of it, is that the black hole, as it evaporates, somehow or other, the stuff that's evaporating from the black hole picks up this information. So Susskind's favorite one is that somehow, if you look at a black hole, you see that nothing ever falls in, because the only light that ever gets out to you is from outside the horizon. But therefore, all of this information is sort of trapped on the surface of the horizon, and as the black hole evaporates, that gets shot out. Now, you look at it from a general relativist point of view, and the horizon is nothing special. You're there, you fall in, there's nothing strange that happens at the horizon. So, how in the world can you be storing all of this information on the surface, which is just the same as any other place in space-time? So that's one. Another possibility is non-locality. Perhaps quantum gravity is incredibly non-local, so that even though, this stuff all fell into the black hole,
it is entangled. There are entanglements.
Well, it's never not. Entanglement is not non-local, but anyway, that's a whole other argument.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Correlations?
No, but it's really there accessibly in a non-local way. That quantum gravity or something means that what's here can affect what's over here, even if they're space-like separated. Okay.
No matter how far.
No matter, well, I don't know how far, but anyway. And that then gives you a way of the inside affecting the evaporation coming from the outside. How this works, but maybe this is the way out. I don't know. I would have to see this theory. I'm not going to accept this as a very strong argument. When the absolutely simplest explanation is the information went in there and it disappeared. So what?
So what?
All of the energy didn't disappear. All the conserved quantities didn't disappear. The globally conserved quantities didn't disappear.
So you don't consider unitarity something sacred? You want to be.
But unitarity isn't simply sacred in quantum mechanics.
Okay.
The evolution in this room is not unitary.
Good,
Because photons escaped outside.
Good.
Photons came in from outside as well, so the energy, at least on average, is.
Hi.
Are we ready to go?
Oh. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Bill.